Most RV owners think that their wheel bearings are fine, right up until the point that they're not. And then they've got a bigger problem. Today I'm going to show you how to repack your wheel bearings and what to look for, and a couple things that if you don't do it quite right, you can destroy your bearings. So there's a couple things that we can do when we're also checking our wheel bearings, right? We can check out the condition of our tires as well. We can make sure that there's no nails and things like that in it, that the wear that's happening is acceptable. You know, it's just good to actually see what's going on with this. We can inspect our brakes as well while we're there. It's just a good habit to get into. Okay, so next we're gonna take this little unit off here. Okay, so there's our nut in behind there. This little bit of movement is good. You can kind of feel things around. What you hear there is actually the brakes on the outside. It's telling me that they're adjusted well. Next thing we got to do here is take off this little cotter pin. Now I replaced all my wheel bearings 2 seasons ago, and I did not repack them last year. I had minimal kilometers on them when I put it to bed the previous year. So you can see how that nut is actually moving in there. That's normal. This is, believe it or not, these components are loose, and when you over tighten them, this is when you get heat buildup. So it's completely normal phenomenon, and we can actually take that off, that nut, by hand. So one of the things that you want to do here is try and keep things as clean as you can, because we're going to reuse all of these parts that were taken off here, and we're going to clean them up really well before we use them. Let's just clean my hands a bit here. One of the things that you want to do, so this will actually come off as a unit here, and it doesn't require any force. And I'm just going to set that bearing down there, and I'm going to pull this off. And one of the things that you really need to be careful for here is that you don't get grease on your brake pads, right? Because grease and brake pads just don't work well together. So we're just going to take a look here. We're going to clean up all of our grease on the spindle here. I'm looking down at my drum here. Things look like they're wearing nice. They haven't been heated up and whatnot. That bearing kind of drops down inside. That's all normal. So we can, you know, it looks like we've got some good grease here on our bearing. It doesn't actually take a lot of grease, but we're just going to clean the excess off here. Now, if you actually ran into a problem and you've seen some damage here to your bearings or whatnot, what you can do is actually find the bearing number here on the race, and you can get a kit to replace that bearing if you need. Now I'm looking for, you know, this bearing feels nice and smooth. There doesn't seem to be any damage, so we're good to go here. So there's 2 of these bearings. The other one is still inside here, so we're going to get that other bearing out of there and do an inspection on that one as well. So this is the outer bearing. I'm not sure how well I'll be able to show this, but I'm going to top that bearing out. The seal is a little bit damaged here, so I'm using a brass punch, and I'm actually just tapping on the outer race here a little bit to get that to drop. You can see my seal is coming out on the back side, so the bearing is going to push the seal with it. use a little longer punch here, eh? Okay, so we've got our bearing out. Now you want to note the orientation of that thing. So it's, you know, you've got two cones that are opposing on here. So we're going to get this bearing here cleaned up as well. Seems to be rotating fine. Let's get it cleaned up. So it's important to get all that old grease out of there. Get all as much as that stuff out as we can. I'm going to reuse the bearings that I have. Well, these bearings have been in here for 2 years. And I would say probably around 15,000 kilometers on them. I've got a good amount of grease on there. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to get some brake clean and get all these parts cleaned right up here. So it's going to use some brake clean here. Actually don't have a, might have to go get some more. Now, if you got a good solvent cleaner, you can use that as well. But I don't have a solvent cleaner here. In my industry, when I worked as a millwright in a chemical plant, they used to say that if you don't do preventative maintenance on your equipment, it will tell you when it needs the preventative maintenance. And usually that's not a good thing. It's going to leave you stranded on the side of the road in this case. Okay, so we got 2 clean bearings. I might as well clean up our nuts here. Now you can see I got a little bit of grease here on my drum, so I don't want to keep that there. So I'll hit that with a bit of brake clean as well. Give that a good wipe. Now, if you don't know which grease you're going to use for doing your repacking of your bearings, just head down to your local hardware store, your automotive parts place, and tell them the project that you're doing, and they'll pick out a good grease for you and what's in your area. I mean, I could show you what's in my grease gun, but the fact of the matter is there's hundreds of different types of greases and they're all the right ones. So go down to your local hardware store and get yourself some actual stuff that's fitting for your area. Okay, so the point of greasing here is to actually try and squeeze grease through this small gap here until it comes out of the rollers, right? So I realize that there are repacking type of mechanisms out there that you can use, and those are all excellent things. I don't have a bearing packer, but yeah, I can save you time. But is it really necessary? I would argue it's not. This will do your wheel bearings just fine. And you can see how the grease is coming through on the other side here. So that's all we got to do is just keep packing grease in there. You notice they're 2 different sizes, right? So you can't actually get these things backwards. The smaller one on the outside, which is probably the case, we'll say 99 times out of 10, right? Because there's always that one exception. Okay, so we'll just keep packing that in there. We're going to do the same for both of those. So I got nice fresh clean grease in there. You can see it's actually pushing some of that old grease out as well. The biggest reason that you're doing this is to do an inspection, getting some fresh grease in there, getting your wheel bearings reset. Just going to put a bit of a coating. I'm going to give that a turn as well. It's a little bit tough to actually turn it. It always takes a little bit more grease at that initial spot that you pick, just because it's more empty. The bearing packers usually work pretty good. You actually just squish the grease right through there to the other side, and it's really quick. But I know that for most of us do-it-yourself home repair guys, it's just not something that we're going to invest in for a tool. We just don't have that many trailer tires to do. It's amazing how much grease that actually holds inside there when you're packing that properly. Okay, so I want to make sure that our grease is nice and clean here on the end. And we want to put some grease. This is on the for the inside. So we don't want any metal contact at all initially here. And this being the inside seal, we're going to put a little bit more grease there. This is why you take them apart, actually, is because the inside bearing may or may not get lubricated if you just, do the grease insert from the outside. So this is an older system, pretty standard thing that's been used on these RV trailers in the past. Okay, so we've got our greased bearing. We're going to put that in there, and then I like to just kind of coat it. That's all. The heat from your bearings will actually use capillary action to draw the grease in there, so it actually goes through hot cold cycles as it's going. And I didn't actually grab new seals. I'm just going to replace them with the ones that I got. So I'm going to take a little bit of this grease the inside of my lip seal, tap that back on there. And if I use a tool like this, I can put this lip seal on here nice and flush. Grease on our brakes. Okay, so that is exactly where that needs to go. A little bit of grease in there. Again, this is for the outer. This is for the outer bearing. Could actually hold that there, and we can see that it turns nice and free there. So I like to keep a little bit of grease here on the threads, just for the sake of keeping that nut nice and loose on there. Okay, so now that we've got our bearing in there, again, same thing I did on the other side. I actually just want to put a little bit of grease on this side. And then we're going to put our on there, and we're going to put our nut back on. Okay, so this is the trick, right? This does not have to be very tight at all. So I'm looking here, and I'm almost lined up with one of the slots. Now, these bearings don't actually get preload. They're actually just kind of floating there. But if you actually look up the specs for your particular thing, they talk about doing this up to 50 foot-pounds. This is just getting everything seated in there. I can just feel it kind of tight right there. So I'm gonna go, now if I tighten that up, I will probably be too tight here on my bearings because I've got preload on there. So what I'm gonna do is find my slot that I've got for the, can't actually see it, but what you want to do as a rule of thumb is back it off loose until you get to that next slot. I don't know if I could see where mine was. Okay. Put that back in there, and it's got nice, shouldn't really feel any angular play here. You might actually get that over time as you're using the system, as you're using the trailer. But we're going to, now if you got new cotter pins, you can use new cotter pins. This is all this cotter pin is doing here is preventing that nut from backing off. That's all it's doing. So it's not, it doesn't have a real stressful job. And then I can put my dust cap back on here as well. Sometimes these get a little bit banged up. You use a soft hammer to get those all back in. And that's it. Okay, so now that I've got my tire on here, I can actually give it a side-to-side wiggle. Actually, I don't feel any wiggle in there, which is good, but the main thing that we want to do is go and put, you know, 20, 30 kilometers, miles on the tires as they've been reset with the bearings. Pull over, put your hand on here. This is the true test, right? So you put your hand on there, and it's okay if it's a little bit warm, but it shouldn't be hot to touch. Now we just need to repeat that 3 more times, and we're ready to go for the season. I'm hoping you found something of value here, that you can get into a job like this. Consider subscribing, because we've got some other projects that we're doing here that are just gonna really increase our comfort level here in the trailer this year. I hope that you'll join me for those projects as well. Until the next Fix It, we'll see you there.